Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we proudly provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is Iconic Women. That's right. Within every woman lives a goddess. I started this show last year because I really wanted to spotlight women who are change agents, who are leaders, who are actually empowering other women to come forward and find and share the best version of themselves. Today, we are speaking with two women who hold the title of Miss Regal World 2026. These pageants earners carry prestige, visibility, and influence, but they also are women of humanity. They are women who have lived through things in their life, and they're stepping into the spotlight to showcase the fact that we don't all have to have a perfect journey. Many people see the crown, but few people really understand what comes along with that and the journey to get to where they are today. So welcome to the show, my two guests today. First, joining us from the good old US of A, right? We love the US of A, especially with what's going on in the world, okay? We'll talk about that later. Dr. Roopa Modha, welcome to the program. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for having me, joining you today. It is so nice to be here and to be part of such a wonderful cause.
Well, thank you. It's good to see you. I love your crown. It looks beautiful on you. We're going to get a little bit into that, but let's first introduce our second guest, Mickey. Am I going to say their last name? Proulx. I think I said it wrong. Let's welcome her to the show. Mickey, how are you? Mickey Proulx.
Hi, I'm Mickey Proulx. I'm from Ontario, Canada. I'm an industrial construction boilermaker, and I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you so much.
Well, your crown looks beautiful on you as well. And thank you for joining us from Canada. We get a lot of wonderful people from Canada on our various shows. So I want to get right into it. For those people who are not aware, what is Miss Regal World 2026? And I'll showcase the two of you and you can just have a chat about. So we'll start with Dr.
So Miss Regal World is actually a pageant that Victoria started during the pandemic at a time when there weren't many opportunities for people to get out there. So Victoria George Veal is based in the UK, and this is her initiative, and it's brought so many women together from around the globe. So for me, I found a lot of good friends and close colleagues now who have become like family to me. It's a platform that gives you a chance to speak to women's causes, women empowerment, getting your voice out there and amplifying causes and platforms that are close to your heart. And we also have 3 categories. So Mickey is the Miss category. I was in Ms. And Mickey, you can continue if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, Roopa nailed it right on the head. She focuses so much on friendship and positivity and trying to make positive change in the world through those initiatives. And the way that she formatted it is a lot closer and more intimate to a pageant. Even though it's virtual, you still get an opportunity to get to know some of the other contestants and some of the other queens, past queens, and everyone is comfortable reaching out to each other. So they really embody the friendship and positivity and support aspect of it. So it's kind of different, whereas normal virtual pageants would be very short, then and you wouldn't really interact very much with the other competitors, and she gives us a platform and an opportunity to be able to connect with other queens and contestants from around the world.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And just for people who are joining us and wondering, Miss Regal World it's an international pageant that's based in the UK, but it's really designed as a global online competition. And women can compete remotely. And the titles, from what I understand, are in 3 different age divisions: Miss, which is 18 to 30, Ms, which is 31 to 49, and Classic Ms, which is 50 plus. So, ladies, my question for you is, you have on the beautiful crown and the sash, but what actually comes along with the title? What are you actually required to do besides looking beautiful and wearing the crown and the sash? Doctor.
So I think, as with fashion, I think it's the person who wins has to make it into something more powerful. Whereas in this fashion with Miss Regal World, we have the support of a wonderful director, but we want to be able to speak to our causes. So for me, my platform has always been girls' education and rise together, which is something I carried forward even during our sessions to make sure my fellow queens knew that every single gem on my crown represents them too. This isn't just an individual path I am going on. For me, I really feel that women must have their voices heard no matter where they are in this world. So with this pageant, we have to talk to our causes. We have to have a plan. When you are entering this pageant, you actually have to have a vision for the whole year to know how you can elevate that cause and how you can amplify and bring women up. Because empowerment is really collectively about amplifying our voices, but it isn't just about speaking out and standing up for women's rights. It is about sustained change. So for that, you had to have a plan. For me, girls' education is something I have focused on. I have raised funds for women around the world. I actually helped one organization get $10,000 in 3 days to become a vetted organization with the UN to get international funding. And that educated 30 girls for life. Because I really feel that women must have equal rights around the world and equal respect around the world. And for me, I saw the dream of equality becomes a reality through education. Education opens doors, it opens paths, and it really gives women access and agency to their own bodies and their own mind and vision. So with that in mind, for me, Miss Regal World is one of those rare pageants that actually gives women that voice and that opportunity to speak to such important causes, because true empowerment really requires a world that allows women to use tools like education to break systemic bias and barriers. And education opens that path. For me, I'm an attorney, I'm a journalist, I'm a lyricist, I'm an Indian classical dancer and dance teacher, and of course, a pageant queen. But I've always felt the crown needs to be to make a positive change in this world. And that's something this pageant allowed me to do.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And we'll get a little bit more into your platform as we get into the program. Mickey, what would you like to share?
So with Miss Regal World, the opportunities that it's given us as queens is a little bit of notoriety, so that not only do we have an organization with a fantastic director and other queens to be able to support us and encourage us to be able to share our platforms and our voices and advocacies, but it also shows to other people that may not know us personally that we are affiliated with an organization that's willing to slap their names beside ours, so that we're being honest in our regards. Even though our platforms are positive and they have nothing but positive intentions and goals, sometimes people need that little extra trust, and that's what a crown and a sash can give to people, so that they can share their platforms with us, as well as it kind of gives us a reason and an opportunity, and a little bit of branding that's more eye-catching. So for my workshop, my platform, it focuses on community-based, harboring an opportunity for communities and other women to share learning skills and important things to each other that we feel would be able to benefit each other. And being able to wear that sash and crown, not only is it an honor, but it also gives people that association with us, so that we're more memorable, we're more trustworthy, and it's just a lot easier to get out there as far as advocating for our platform, because as much as we talk about it with friends and do the advocacy, being able to spread the word, the organization really helps with that. And that's where we make a huge impact, is by spreading the word, spreading the knowledge and the impact.
Thank you so much, Mickey. I appreciate that. My next question is not for me to want to know, but for those of the people out there who need some awareness. Some would feel that contests are like this are passe, they're outdated, and it's all based on what you look like. And we know that that's not the case. So what would you say to critics out there who think that this is the beauty pageant of the past?
So I can definitely speak to that, because that's actually the perspective I had before I entered pageants. I actually started my pageant journey on a dare from a friend who said, I dare you to enter pageants and see what happens with it. And that's where my journey began. And what I realized since the very first pageant I ever did is that the women who are entering this are actually confident beyond words. They actually have power, passion, and platforms. So they're very eloquent. They come from a knowledge base. It's not just based on looks. I think, as we all know, that your outside appearance may not really reflect your inner beauty, and inner beauty is what actually needs to speak and shine. If you have that commitment and passion to make a change in this world, I think that's where true beauty lies. If you feel that you want to help someone come up in this world, that is beauty. And that's actually what pageants these days are about. You cannot enter a pageant without a platform these days. You have to speak to a cause. The pageant directors and pageants these days are set up to make sure that you are entering because you want to make a positive difference in this world. You have to have an action plan. You actually have to have a very thorough understanding of what you can do to lift up others. So whereas pageants back in the day, maybe they were advertised or shown to be more superficial, these days, this is far from the fact. These days, pageants are actually a means to an end to actually get a difference done in this world. And the girls that you meet in these pageants actually are so incredible. Their backgrounds, when you speak to them, they've come through hardships and they're risen above them. Every pageant girl, in my opinion, is a phoenix that has risen, that's ready to share her light, spread that light, and make a change. So I think the mindset needs to change these days. They're actually highly intelligent women who are so dedicated to causes and very passionate to make a difference.
Thank you, Doctor. I also have a show called Judgment, the Hidden Sin. So it would be interesting to have you two on there as well. Mickey, what do you say to the naysayers out there?
Oh, I'm in the trades, so I totally get it. I was one of those naysayers because I had no idea that pageants existed outside of toddlers and tiaras. But I was approached by a wonderful woman in Northern Ontario who she has an empowerment-based pageant. The way that she runs it, it's fantastic. It's great for beginners to get into it. It's great for seasoned veterans in the pageant world to experience. And I got the experience. For me, it was superficial because I really struggled in my life and my experiences with not feeling safe around other women because of my experiences with some maternal figures. And pageantry has helped me heal that relationship with women, because there's only one crown that can be won, but we invest so much time and money and effort and emotion and passion into this hobby, even if you're just getting into it, that we all want to take something away from it. So one thing that I like to point out to people who are not, because there's not a huge industry of pageants in Canada, we're a very close-knit community. So I always explain that we don't say we're competing against, we say we're competing with, because even if we're just taking home the friendships at the end of the day, that's a win. And there's so many accomplished and well-spoken women from all walks of life who we get into the mindset that we all must be masochists, because even in the most shallow model searchy type, the old school idea of what a pageant would be, you're still going up there on stage literally to be judged for every single insecurity that a woman could possibly have, all about potential weight, whether your knees touch properly, whether your hair is done right, whether you can string a word together while holding a microphone. All of those things are very, very vulnerable, and it's it's an intense thing to be up there, and literally your hobby is to be judged on those so that you can try and hone your skills. And it's not only just that those skills are something to do for competitions, but they help you in everyday life. They help you in your professional careers. There's always aspects and skills that you can take, always different resources you can take away from it. And as much as it does help with humanitarian platforms, there's a lot more to it than that, because not everyone has the stomach for a majority of humanitarian platforms, but it does encourage a lot of women to do positive and community work, volunteer work, humanitarian initiatives, and they give you opportunities to be able to explore that into any facet that you might be able to fit into your life. So it's extremely accessible. It really teaches women how to be able to channel their empathy into real world change. And I think that for me personally, it's been something that is very near and dear to my heart, because I've been one of those that have been directly impacted positively by a majority of the women that I've had the pleasure of meeting in this industry.
Thank you, Mickey, and thank you, Doctor. You have dispelled any of the naysayers' thoughts out there. It's completely gone. Okay, so what I want to get into next is you touched on the fact about judgment. So I kind of want to just go there, and then I want to talk about the pageant itself. So we see in mainstream media that there's a lot of focus on celebrities who may or may not be using certain weight loss drugs, but there's a lot of women who look very, very thin. And if you read the backstory, in some cases, they feel compelled in order to keep their job, in order to have opportunities for new work, that they have to look a certain way, and then maybe it gets out of control. So with pageantry, obviously, you're being judged on many areas, right? So how do you keep that in check, where it's not that you're so focused on what you look like outwardly, even if you might see people and perceive that you think that they are more attractive, or they have longer hair or short, whatever it might be? How do you keep that in perspective and focus on what your platform is? And that's really part of the big value that you're bringing forward. Let's go with Doctor first.
So I really believe that we all need to find that inner confidence in us. I think that when you start comparing your path to someone else's, that's where the mistake happens. We all have our own individual journeys. A door that opens for me is probably meant for me and maybe not someone else, but we don't need to see, oh, that door opened for this person and I need to sneak into that too. We all find our place in this world. We all have a purpose in this world, and that ability to carry our journeys forward. So for me, when I entered pageants, I actually never looked at it from an outward experience. I always wanted to see that journey through. So for me, the pageants I've done in the past too, I've always left with the most friendships. I've always left with women whose stories inspire me. So when you're in these pageants, I think if you fixate too much on how you're going to be judged for your walk or your look or what you're going to wear, that changes the experience more towards a negative, in my opinion. I think if you enter a pageant thinking that you will be leaving with new friendships, new opportunities, new contacts in your life that can encourage and support you, that's where the positive aspect of pageantry is. The aspect of pageantry that's often overlooked is that you're meeting women and other contacts you may not interact with otherwise. So, for example, this pageant is an international pageant that took place online. All the women in this pageant, our paths may not have crossed if not for this pageant, but these women are women that I cannot live without now. There are some women here who have become like family, like sisters to me, including our director herself. She is someone that I turn to when I need to talk about something, and she's a friend, she's family. Even Mickey and I, our journeys are together now. We had a separate patch. She lives in Canada, I'm here in the US, and yet here we are together on a show speaking to causes that are near and dear to our heart. So I think that when we're talking about judgment, I think we had to be very focused on self-care and strengthening our mental health. My sister's actually a psychiatrist, so I'm very aware of the importance of mental health and making sure that positivity is what our focus is. And I think that's something that we also miss in this country, is the importance of mental health, self-care, and self-awareness. So I think we actually need to promote mental health a lot more on a global scale and realize there's no stigma about it. We need to make sure people are open and free to talk about it to others.
Excellent point. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we do have the website address up for anyone who'd like to get some information. Mickey, what are your thoughts about what I asked?
I always try to tell new and old queens, any queens that come to me who are struggling and they say, you seem so confident. And it's like, I have my own ways of being able to cope with my own insecurities that have worked for me. And my ways may not be the same, but I always try and tell them that when you're entering into a beauty pageant, beauty is the prerequisite because it's such a subjective thing. You can have a beautiful personality, beautiful hair, beautiful face, beautiful smile, and all of those things, beautiful body, and feel insufficient in your own regards. And I always try to tell them, because it's a prerequisite, everything else that they have to judge on has to be a measurable skill in some form or another. And on to that, I was always told when I first got in, there really is a pageant for everyone. There are curvy pageants for more plus size women. There's one called Miss Voluptuous, I believe. There's ones for petite women who are shorter. There's ones for women who don't want to do any humanitarian work and they just want to be in model searching and do the pageant competitions. There's ones that focus primarily on the humanitarian projects in their own countries rather than globally. There's a pageant out there for everyone, and the crown will be blessed to those who fit into that organization the best, and where it will be the most resourceful experience for them. So with I've believed in the past that there was some organizations where on the outside looking in, I thought that they would be perfect for me. And then I competed in them and I realized just how much work that the reign took for them. And all work is hard work, but it just wasn't hard work that I knew I was able to do. So I focused more on my strengths. I try to always focus on my strengths and not my weaknesses, and trying to focus on the buildable skills so that you can see improvement, comparing only to your past self, not to those around you, because comparison is the thief of joy. So it really is trying to strengthen yourself to kind of focus on your own growth, your own momentum, your own passions, and where it fits. Until I competed in Miss Regal World, I didn't realize just how much the values of it, how much I had learned and grown, and just through the challenges, it almost felt like the follow-up questions through our challenges that we were given throughout the competition, it almost felt as if those were being written for me. And with other queens, sometimes you can just feel like this year in this pageant could be a great pageant for you that year, and it may not work for you. So there's an alignment of the stars. There's a bunch of like unspoken things. There's measurable skills. It goes far beyond your worth as a person, because if it is affecting your worth as a person, that's a time where, especially in Canada, it's with the pageant community, it's very, very normalized to take a step back for a year and work on yourself and the things in your life that are taking the joy out of pageantry, so that you can either come back to it and enjoy it, or step out completely, or come in a capacity that works for you with organizations that work best for you. So I think having that flexibility and allowing that for yourself is very important. And as of course, as Roopa has mentioned, that mental health is of course the utmost importance. I've been involved in mental health treatments my entire life. They are like a cornerstone just in a normal everyday person, let alone somebody who is putting their vulnerabilities on stage just for a hobby, right?
Absolutely. So many gems that you discussed right there. So I want to go into, for anyone who's watching, and we don't have Victoria here today, but we would love to have her in the future. What was the pageant process like? What are the steps that are involved with the process that the two of you went through, I should say?
So I think initially we had to submit our pictures and speak as to why we would be a good entrant for this pageant. And then throughout the weeks, I think we had weekly Zoom calls, or not weekly, it was probably like every few weeks we had a Zoom call with all the queens. And it was a way to get to know all the queens, and kind of also to judge who is able to interact well with one another and how they're creating that sense of community. We did have to speak to our platforms. We were asked questions that none of us would know about until I think a few days before the entries due. So there were steps where finalists are narrowed down. Then the next stage comes. We have our final few finalists left in each category. And then the judges gave another question that we had to answer and speak to. And because this was geared towards the pandemic, when people were doing it from home, we weren't being judged necessarily about the location or what we were wearing. It was mostly about that inner confidence. So again, I think as me and Mickey have been speaking this time, is that even if you do not win this pageant or you don't win a pageant, don't take it as a negative. Don't turn that into something that, oh, I'm not beautiful, I'm not right for anything. Each pageant only unfortunately does have that one winner, but it's that journey that matters, those contacts you make. And with this one too, I think we all left with more friendships than we came in with. So Mickey, if you want to add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that we had to submit a headshot for publishing and promotion of the pageant. We had a Facebook group that we were all into so that we could share with each other and reach out. And the Zoom calls that we would have were more informal, and Victoria would host the Zoom calls, but she would always reiterate that they were never judged. And we do fun games like 2 Truths, 1 Lie, just to be able to get to know each other. A big part of it was trying to show a more vulnerable, authentic side, which is a part of the values of Miss Regal World, is showing our own vulnerability as well as exhibiting like the friendliness and the passion and the positivity. So in getting to know everyone, they narrowed it down to a top 3 or top 2. I believe it was top 3. We had quite a few contestants this year, and Victoria goes all out. The crownings and the announcements for the top finalists are published on YouTube, on her YouTube channel. And then after she announced the top 3, we were given an additional challenge for an additional question to answer on video. And then that got submitted to the judges, and the judges came together to choose their winners. But Victoria definitely made all of us feel very special throughout the announcements by picking up on different personal things from Zoom calls or from conversations that she had had or something that she would show some connection to us. So it was very intimate as far as like a pageant goes for getting to know each other.
And there still was an official judging panel. So even though this is online, there was a full judging panel, and they were evaluating us on rigorous criteria. So it still is a formal pageant in that sense. It's just the accessibility is so much better for this pageant because it is online and it is a global system that anyone can access. And I would say you don't really need to have an extensive passion experience to do it. We have people who are beginners, we have people who have won before, and it's all about just enjoying the process. And I think the title says that the regal world aspect of it, regal carries a certain emphasis in it. There's this meaning that just gets conjured up about dignity, elegance, grace. And that's something that I think Victoria was very focused on during the pageant, to make sure that everyone who accessed it would enjoy themselves and leave with something and some lesson learned.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And for our audience, these wonderful women have no idea what I'm going to ask them. There's no script and we haven't rehearsed anything. So my question for the two of you is, obviously you are more than just beautiful. You have brains, you have experience, you have education, you have your platforms. So if you were able to go into some part of the world to really spread the message of your platform, where would it be and who would you like to help? We'll start with Dr. Roopa.
So for me, since my heritage is Indian and I've been actually helping so many causes in India, I would want to go there and actually firsthand see the girls who I am affecting with my fundraising here. So I'd actually written a song called I Rise by Agents of Harmony, which was done with me in collaboration with a few friends of mine in India. This was a way to have a unique fundraiser for girls' education, and proceeds were given to girls' education. That actually was used towards Indian Dreams Foundation, for which I'm an ambassador. And that's what helped 30 girls with life with their education, because even though these days people have access to education, for girls, the key point is that it has to be quality education. And these days, women's rights, no matter where you are in the world, they are being reevaluated. So I am an attorney. When I was in law school, the Delhi rape case had happened in India. But when I was focusing on that, I was thinking that here in the US, we do have loopholes too, and there are flaws and changes that need to be made. So I had held a panel about domestic violence and had found that Connecticut law had a marital rape exemption that still existed in the law. So I brought that up during this panel discussion with top attorneys and one of the Connecticut Supreme Court justices. And we were able to actually ultimately get that exemption removed from the law. In 2019, it was passed as a bill, and that change has been made. So whether you're in the US or India or anywhere in the world, I think women need to speak out. We have to raise our voices. We have to speak up for ourselves, and we have to make sure women support women. So for me, I would go to India and I would want to make sure that girls are getting quality education and not just stopping at just getting an education. There are so many barriers to them accessing education, either cultural norms where they feel like only the male child should be the one supported, or even little things that we here don't necessarily consider as stopping women from going to school. Like when we get our menstrual cycles here, we don't feel that that's going to block us from going to school. In certain rural parts of the world, that is another barrier that needs to be addressed. So I would want to go back to my roots. Of our family actually had a school built in Gujarat, where we're originally from many years ago. My granduncle was the principal and my aunt was a teacher there. I personally had raised funds after the tsunami had hit Sri Lanka to have a school built there. And I've helped so many girls trying to get their education because, as I said earlier, education opened doors for me. And I want to use my platform and my ability to have global visibility to bring to light that cause and make a change in others' lives and give them education.
Thank you, Dr. Roopa. When would you like to make this happen?
So I've only been to India once, which is a couple of years back for my friend's wedding. So I definitely do want to go back to India soon and actually make these changes in person. I'm still in touch with these organizations I've been an ambassador for, and we're speaking to how we can make a change. And so, for example, even a couple months back, I spoke to a university in India about women's safety from a global and legal standpoint. And it opened up issues to them and accessibility and knowledge about the rules and the law they can address if they need to speak out about violence in their lives and how they can address and contact other organizations to speak out and connect. So trying from a global platform right now and trying to make sure that someday I'll be able to go there and make the change one-on-one.
I'm sure it's going to happen. Thank you for sharing that. Mickey, how about you?
A portion of my platform is actually trying to make change more tangible. And in my experience, I grew up in a very small town of 2,600 people in Northern Ontario, very rural part. And you could make a lot more changes, it felt like, because we would go to municipal meetings, be a part of committees. So if we wanted to make change, we would spread the word to other residents and friends and neighbors. And if they agreed and they wanted to join in with us, we'd form a committee and we'd be able to make that change. And for me, the message that I would want to spread is that if you maintain your home, that the rest of the world, if everybody maintains their local area and their home and holding their representatives accountable and being able to make positive change where they see it with working in communities and being volunteer based, that if everybody does a little bit, then as a whole, it'll make a larger change. So for me, I may be taking a little bit of a cop out by saying this, but I would love to spread the message globally of if you feel the need, especially in today's age where we've got the cell phones with so much news globally, it feels like we can't impact anything. I see it all the time where I see things in the United States, and I wish so much that I would be able to impact some sort of change down there. So I try to impact change more locally where I can feel it and try to show support any way that I can. And I believe that if we take the issues that we're passionate about, that are tangible for us to be able to make a positive impact with, and if everybody did a little bit, then many hands make light work, so to speak. I've experienced it time and time again where even small things like community gatherings and events that are held by just other community members and citizens, those kinds of things, if people aren't getting out and about, connecting with each other and having that sense of connection, then it can feel like change can feel unattainable. So by bringing everyone out into a smaller, more tangible kind of change area, then you can really kind of make a positive impact that you can feel a little bit more instantly, but then it could also make a ripple effect if done right, if explored properly, and if it was showcased properly as well.
Thank you both, queens. I appreciate it. What opportunities have opened up or would you like to open up for you as a result of being Miss Regal World 2026? Mickey, we'll start with you.
For me, some of the opportunities that have opened up are we will get the opportunity to travel to Portugal to be a part of Madeira Fashion Week, but more so it's just given me, like I had mentioned before, some of the notoriety so that when I'm speaking to organizations and other organizers of the organizations that I may have already known, there's just a little bit more confidence in my skill sets and giving me an opportunity to be able to showcase my message. So I have an opportunity potentially to be able to showcase my workshop with an organization that was the one that brought me into pageantry, but I've also had an opportunity to MC for another sister pageant where I was able to spread my platform and showcase a couple of other advocacies as well that I'm passionate about. So I've gotten a few opportunities. It really is what you make of it right now because it's so gloomy and cold in Canada. The opportunities aren't as easy to obtain. But as the weather warms up, there's going to be a ton more that are going to come out, as well as just like talking opportunities when it comes to talking to other coworkers, new faces, meeting new people. I will have an opportunity to discuss with my local agricultural society about doing an ambassador program, which will hopefully be able to put some roots in the ground for more of a pageant community on in my area, which there's not very much of it because it's so rural. And then because I do have contacts with other organizations being able to spread that out, but they got the confidence not having known me because I was able to say I'm currently an international reigning queen. I have this experience, so they welcomed me more with open arms to be able to spread my message. And I also, because of celebration of a win, being able to be published in other articles, my union has news articles, and they have been fantastic with supporting me and being able to help me spread my message just as much as I've been able to spread theirs.
Congratulations and thank you so much, Mickey. Dr. Roopa, you have the floor for the same question.
Yes. So I think for me, first of all, I re-energized my passion for girls' education and trying to connect with local organizations too to speak to that cause. So there are a few Zoom meetings that are scheduled for later this month to be able to connect with them and see how our values can align and what I can do using my title to bring them visibility and what they can do for me too, to see how I can help those girls. So it's mostly as Mickey just said, that it's about what you make of it too and how you can connect and use this visibility. For me, I've been very blessed that media has really been so supportive of my journey for everything I've done in my life with my legal work, media work, pageantry, dancing. So they've been very supportive and encouraging of this title and have published about it and encouraged and supported me in my win. Going to Portugal is going to be a very beautiful experience and walking in Fashion Week there, but there have been opportunities in New York for certain fashion shows there too, where individuals have approached to ask if I could walk there. But unfortunately, we've had blizzards here. So getting from Rhode Island to New York, New Jersey has been a bit difficult, but as things warm up and as things change, I'm sure more opportunities will come. And obviously, a lot of speaking engagements come too, because as people get to know your title and they ask you about what your platform is, many things start to align and you can find causes that align with you and that where you can amplify the cause you want to speak to. So for me, girls' education and women empowerment are my two main focus areas. And I've been trying to link with the organizations to speak to that and see what I can do to amplify that. There's also a major Connecticut women's empowerment organization and Rhode Island one too that have approached me, and we're working to see if there's a way I can speak at one of their upcoming events this summer. So let's see, judging other pageants is always very exciting too. I've already been able to judge for one, and there's another coming up this summer. So it's always nice to connect with other pageants and to support them too.
Congratulations to you as well. And I invite both of you to be a guest on our show, A Woman's Prerogative. It would be great to have you and have you share your perspectives.
It's an honor to be here today. I truly believe in the power of one. And I feel like even if one person can make a difference to another, there's so much that can be done. And you've done such a wonderful job with your show, encouraging women, supporting all of us, and being there for us. So thank you. And thank you for extending this invite.
Thank you. It's absolutely my pleasure. So I'd love to have each of you share what's the best way for people to get in touch with you. We've got both of your Instagrams, but if there's something else, maybe you could drop it in the chat. And then who would you like to reach out to? We'll start with you, Mickey.
My Instagram at Mickey Mouse, MAU5E, is probably the best way to reach me. I treat it like it's my business card and platform for connection. I don't really have any other modes of contact other than the email that should be linked with that. And I'm excited for anybody who would love to also spread my platform and help me get the word out there of building community and bringing everyone together to be able to share tangible skills that can benefit us in each other's lives. I would love to be able to partner with you, so please reach out to me if you have opportunities like that or know of opportunities like that. I would love to discuss it.
Thank you very much for that, Mickey. Dr. Roopa, who would you like to reach out to you and how should they do it?
So the best way to reach me is Instagram. I think these days that has become our go-to for connections, and it's the simplest way to reach us. So mine's at Roopa Modha. And because I have such a diverse background, my background as an attorney, I mentioned, author, journalist, lyricist, and dancer. I have the cultural side to me that I've used to help promote causes and create awareness for certain organizations. So for example, I used to help out with Vision Aid, who does a production here in Massachusetts every year. And that was to help money for the visually impaired in India, and that was to a dance production that my dance teacher had organized and does. So for me, any avenue that's available to bring awareness to causes like girls' education, women empowerment, or even from a cultural aspect. So if you would like me to perform an Indian classical dance there or speak to anything about girls' education, how to get them education, how to get them access, to increase visibility from those perspectives, that would be a wonderful organization to link with me. I've spoken at the Indian Consulate before regarding water sustainability. I've spoken at other organizations regarding women's safety, the legal issues, and using my JD, of course, to talk about both national and international safety laws for women and what they can do for advocacy. So basically any organization that's focused on women empowerment or girls' education, or even these cultural sites where you would want to reach out to have me speak there, to walk there, to talk to these causes, or even to perform the cultural side of my personality, which is my Indian classical dance background. So anyone who is willing to connect on issues to make a change in this world, I would really be willing to hear your thoughts and connect and see how our values align.
Thank you very much, Queens. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you on a future episode. And good luck with your missions. I know you're going to accomplish everything that you've set out. And congratulations for being role models for women all over the world.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the encouragement. And thank you to all our viewers out there for supporting us. And thank you again to our director, Victoria, for setting this up for us and supporting your queens the way you do. We love you.
Thank you again. All right, bye for now. I just want to share the website for any of you who are interested in learning more. It's Miss Regal World. And it's exactly as it sounds, Miss Regal, REGAL World, WORLD.com. And there is the beautiful Victoria Georgeville we've been talking about. There's an image of Victoria there. So if you want to learn more, the contact details are here at the end. I've highlighted the email, but also Instagram, Facebook, and we have been sharing the website as well as the email address. So that concludes our show for today for Iconic Women. You may notice I'm wearing a crown, and I feel that truly there is a queen in all of us. There is a goddess in all of us. And sometimes we get lost. Sometimes we lose our confidence. Sometimes someone tells us we're not good enough. We don't have what it takes. That's what I was told when I wanted to start this platform. What do you know about television? Well, I didn't know anything about television, but I learned, and I learned a lot. And to all the naysayers who are out there, I just ask you to look within. Everyone look within and find what you're really passionate about and tap into that instead of being someone in a position of judgment or someone creating fear. Why don't we create peace, inner peace for each and every one of us, so that together we can find world peace? That's what I think collectively our mission is. And it's not an easy journey forward, but when we have peace within ourselves, that is the first step. If you feel you're struggling with some type of mental health issue, there are people who can help you. Reach out. Don't sit in silence. Don't be in isolation, because you have so much to give. We are concluding our show for today, and we'll be back with our next one. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our 60 shows, we now have shows in German, French, and English, and we're in over 60 countries. So please do go ahead to our website, which is usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. If you'd like to know where to watch us, we're now streaming at 12 different locations, but I always send people to our YouTube channels because YouTube gives us real information and they don't take the videos down as of yet. So we're on USA Global TV and Radio and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Please do subscribe to those channels. Okay, we're going over to our sponsors. I just want to highlight, if you or anyone in your life has dementia or Alzheimer's. My mother passed away from dementia. I took care of her for over 3 years during the pandemic. It is a lonely journey, and there's not a lot that we know if we don't ask for help. So one of our team members, Tracy Cram Perkins, has written a book, Dementia Home Care Before, During, and After. She really was a beacon of light for me when my mom was going through it, and so was her book. Let's take a look at Tracy Cram Perkins' Dementia Before, During, and After. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to tracycramperkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover holy but harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms.